Hello and welcome to a brand new Let's Play of Pokemon Stadium on the N64 with me, Rambler. I have been wanting to do this for a very long time, and finally, after having some time to do it and actually getting round to doing it, we are here. And I'm hoping that with my very primitive recording setup I've got going on here, that this will work out. So without further ado, let's play Pokemon Stadium. So before we begin, a little bit of monologuing as always. This is not an emulated version of the game. This is actually running off a real cartridge off my original N64 I got when I was a wee lad back in the day for a birthday present. And you can probably tell from the picture quality that it is a little blurry and a little fuzzy. That's because I'm having to record it via composite video. So we're talking about the old school yellow, white and red cables. I could perhaps upscale it a bit, but it's as good as it's going to get. I haven't got the equipment or the money to spend on upscaling it and making it better. I do actually have an N64 that can do RGB SCART output, but I haven't got the equipment to actually utilise that signal. So we're going to stick with good old composite. But like I said, I'll tidy up the video as best I can in post-editing. So that's that. Secondly, you'll notice that on the screen in front of you that it has a controller icon where it says Game Pack Check, and it says Neo and a picture of a Game Boy game. That's right, I've actually got a copy of Pokemon Blue that I've borrowed off a friend, and I have spent the last few weeks playing the game, exploiting every single piece of code I can on it to get some Pokemon together to play this game with my own Pokemon. You don't need to do this, of course. You can play the game without this, but trust me, we're going to want to do it, and I think it just adds a little bit more of a personal touch. So that's why you can see what you see. So without further ado, here we are. Now I've rebooted the entire cartridge, so we're starting all the way from scratch. I have played this before, like I said, and if I haven't, I'm saying it now. Back in the past, a lot. This was one of my favourite games on the N64. And I've been looking forward to doing this. So as you can see from the main screen, we've got Pokemon Stadium. That's where we're going to be focusing the majority of the LP. Battle Now, where you can basically just go straight into a random battle and get on with it. And then Versus Event, which we may do in the future. I might get my friend to join in with us if I can get a proper desktop microphone, which I can afford to get. I just don't know which one to get because the last one I had was very good, but the life expectancy of it was a bit crap. But hey ho. Options-wise, nothing major really. I'll go into it very quickly. You can see it just says sound stereo voice on. More will be explained about that later. Delete save data, which basically just makes the cartridge back to, the beginning. And quit, which we're going to do now. So yes, I'm sure most of you have played this game or are aware of this game, so I'm not going to spend too long talking about it. We'll go along with it and pick up it as we go along. Don't know why I said that twice, but the point being is that this is the screen once you go into Stadium mode. So we've got the Stadium, we've got the Gym Leader Castle, we've got Pokemon Lab, we've got Victory Palace, the Kids Club and the free battle mode. The majority of this LP is going to be focusing on the Stadium and the Gym Leader Castle. We might do look at Kids Club at a later date. Maybe we'll look at Victory Palace. It's, as it says there, it's the Hall of Fame where tournament winners are shown as statues even. Can your Pokemon join them? Well, we've got our own Pokemon, so you never know. And then the Pokemon Lab, we will check out at some point because there is some compatibility with Pokemon Stadium with your Game Boy copy of Pokemon Red, Blue or Yellow, which is pretty cool. And the GB Tower over here actually allows you to play the Game Boy game on screen, so you don't even need a Game Boy. You can just play it through Pokemon Stadium and it'll emulate the game from your cartridge plugged into the back of your N64 controller with the included transfer pack. So all very sophisticated stuff back in the day, or at least to me it is anyway. And it still works. It all works. That's how cool this is, They don't build them like they used to. But anyway, so what we're going to do for this video is we'll talk about the game a little bit, but we're actually going to get started, and we're going to start with the Stadium, so we can see the main portions of the Stadium. This is where the bulk of the game is going to take place. We've got, as you can see, 4 pictures, and each picture represents a tournament, or a cup, as it says. So this is the Poke Cup. This is the official Pokemon League tournament. Hone your skills to become the champ. And it says level 50 to 55. More on that later, but that is a tournament, which we're going to start on in this video. We've got the Petite Cup. The Cup tournament open for the lowest level Pokemon. Strategy is the key here. Level 15 to 20. So as it says there, the levels are your Pokemon levels. Then we've got the Prime Cup, which is level 1 to 100. The ultimate tournament without level restrictions. Let it all hang out. Yes, there is innuendo there, but I'm not going to go there. Either way, that is probably maybe the hardest cup in the game. And then finally, we've got the Petite Cup, which is a tournament with many cute Pokemon. But don't let down your guard, you will be tested. Actually, that's quite a hard one as well. But either way, we are going to do all 4 of these tournaments, which is going to be pretty gnarly. And we're going to start with Poké Cup in this video. But before we do, I just want to show you the other thing that's the main part of this game, which is the Gym Leader Castle. If you've played any Pokemon game ever, then basically what this mode is you just go and defeat the gym leaders of the original Red, Blue and Yellow games. In order, essentially. But we'll talk more about that later. But that's the other part of the game that we will be focusing on as well during the LP. But again, we'll come back to that. For now, it is stadium time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Poké Cup, as I said. We're going to go straight to this tournament. And as you can see, you've got Pokeball, which is highlighted. But you've also faded out, got Great Ball, Ultra Ball and Master Ball. There are 4 tiers to this Cup tournament. So Pokeball is the first tier, then Great Ball, then Ultra Ball, then Master Ball. And I'm guessing you have the common sense and knowledge to know that as you go down the tiers, from Great Ball to Ultra Ball to Master Ball, it gets harder. And that is true. If you don't know that, now you do. So we're going to go into Pokeball Cup, and we're just going to do the Poké Cup as much of it as we can in terms of the Pokeball tier. That's what we're going to do for this video, because it's the easiest tier. It's not going to be that exciting, to be honest with you, which is a bit disappointing for a first video, but bear with me. You know, we'll get through it. It won't be that bad. We can talk about how the game works and a bit about Pokemon as we do it, so it won't be too boring. So when you select a tier, and any cup, not just this one, you are presented with this screen. We've got rental only, registered Pokemon, and our cartridge named Neo. So if you don't have a Pokemon game cartridge attached to your controller like I do, you don't need to worry. You can still play the game because you can go to rental only, and you can select a team of Pokemon given to you by the game itself. So here they are, and I believe for this tournament you can pick 149 of the original 151 Pokemon. There's no Mewtwo and no Mew, but there is everything else from Gen 1 or Generation 1. So yeah, you could just pick a Pokemon, and basically what you do is you highlight a Pokemon like Machamp. It gives you some stats, it gives you its health, attack, defense, speed, special. Again, we'll talk more about that later. We're not going to go into too much detail now. And you can see below that there are the moves that the Pokemon knows. And if you wanted to pick it, you just say enter, and you've picked it. And the idea is that you pick 6 Pokemon, and then you can start the tournament. At least for this cup, anyway. But if you have the Game Boy cartridge game instead, then you can pick the Pokemon you trained and caught in Pokemon Red, Blue or Yellow, and you can use them instead in the tournament. Back in the day, that was mind-blowing, at least for me, to think that your little Game Boy game cartridge with your little Pokemon on it, that everybody loved and adored if you played Pokemon, you raised them, and you battled them, you got so personal with them, you can now suddenly see them from a tiny little grey or 4 shades of green screen on your Game Boy to a fully 3D, fully coloured version of it of Pokemon Stadium. Your Pokemon could be brought essentially at the time to life on the big screen, and that for me was just amazing, and for quite a few people as well. But not everybody. This game was criticised for not actually being a full-on Pokemon game. There is no story mode or anything. It's just cups and Gym Leader Castle. It's just basically battling. That's it. So there's no exploration of cities. There's no storyline to follow or places to go. You know, like buildings where you go through and battle trainers to get an item and all that stuff. There's none of that. It is purely battles only. But you know what? I thought that was perfect and brilliant. I really did. And you're going to see it now in action. So what I'm going to do is just pause the recording for a moment, just to check everything is recording okay. Then we're going to pick our team, and it is going to be Trish, Ed, Lisa, Charlie, Steve, Willems. More on that in a minute. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I apologise for these sort of interferences in between. When I'm recording off the N64 like I did with Resident Evil 2 back in the day, it's a little bit choppy. Occasionally I will lose frames. It does go all really, it goes all weird, and I have to keep stopping and starting. It does even out eventually and settle itself to a sort of recording state, but generally every 10 minutes or so I have to stop and start it again, otherwise it just likes to lag and everything goes wrong. So forgive me for the frequent interruptions. They will happen, but they might iron out as the LP progresses. But either way, these are the Pokemon we're going to be using for this tournament. Not Moltres, Zapdos and Articuno. I caught those in the game at the levels that they're at. We're going to use these. And notice as well, they're not called by their proper names. Obviously, that is Lapras. That is Exeggutor. That is Clefable. Of course, Charizard. Electrode, and Alakazam. You see, in the original games, and again, if you've played it, I'm sure you know, you could actually nickname your Pokemon. And that's what I've done. Why those names? They're personal to me, that's all you need to know. So once we've picked our 6 team of Pokemon, or our team of Pokemon of 6, I don't know why I can't speak properly today, I'm just so excited to play this. You can go straight into it by saying okay, or we can register our team. You can change your mind by reselecting some Pokemon, or you can reselect all your Pokemon if you think, nope, don't like this team, let's start again. But for now, this is the team we're going to start with for this tournament. I'm going to register my team. All that means is that the next time I boot into the game, I don't have to pick the Pokemon individually again. It will save the team, and I can just pick up the team and go with it. And that's going to be a really useful feature, because these Pokemon are going to have to be leveled up for later tournaments. And here we go, we're going to start Poké Cup Pokeball Battle 1! It's a biker, and he has those Pokemon, and we must fight them. So that's what Pokemon's like. And you can see from the bottom of the screen, if you look very carefully at Biker's Pokemon, that their names are all changed as well. Yes, the game does nickname all of the enemy trainers' Pokemons in very bizarre and sometimes lazy ways. But there is a reason for that, and we'll get to that in a minute. So what have we got? We've got a Nidoran, male, female, Ekans, Mankey, Chokmah, Hitmonlee. Basically, they're all weak to Psychic, so we're going to start with Woolums. We'll go with Lisa, just because she's a good all-rounder, and Executor. Yes, he's weak to poison, but, you know, we'll get to that later. Like I said, I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail about Pokemon and how Pokemon works. I'm assuming you know. If you don't, look it up, do a bit of research. But I'm sure you'll pick it up as you go along if you're not a Pokemon fan. But, come on. I think everybody on this planet knows what Pokemon is. So here we go, straight into battle. So Biker has sent out Mankey, or Keyman. And basically, as you start the battle, you've got an option screen at the top. You've got A, Battle, B, Pokemon, S, Run. A is the buttons on the controller I'm using, which is a real N64 controller. So if you go into battle, you press A, and essentially you can back out if you want to change your mind, or you can press check, and these are the moves that I've given, or our Pokemon has to use during the fight, just like a standard Pokemon game fight. So I've taught my Alakazam Psychic, Reflect, Recover, and Seismic Toss. Bearing in mind, however, this is Generation 1. So we're following Generation 1 logic here, okay? So if you don't know that, you might need to recap it all. Again, I'll pick things up as we go along. I know Gen 1 very well. I'm sure you will too at some point. So we're going to use Psychic, because Psychic is going to kick Mankey's ass. Go on, Woolums.
A Psychic Blast!
Ooh, super effective and critical hit. Well, he's pretty much boned. So yeah, I mean, again, if you don't know Pokemon, then very quick summary, every Pokemon has a type, and their types can be advantageous towards other types, but also disadvantaged to other types as well. Think of it as like rock, paper, scissors type sort of mechanics. Alakazam's a Psychic type, and Chokmah and Mankey previously are fighting types, and Psychic is good against fighting. So we're going to use Psychic. Again, because why not? I told you, this tournament is really easy, so we're going to just blast through this as quick as we can. Not to show off my skills, it's just because it really is easy. It's meant to be, it's get you settled into the game. So a lot of this video is just going to be me pretty much one-shotting a load of Pokemon. And again, it won't be that exciting to watch, but at least you can see how the game works. Well, at least she's eager for battle, but sadly she will not get a chance to, because once again Woolums here is going to do the deed and blast her mind into outer space. Or the inner voids of her own mind. Who knows? I have no idea how any of these moves work, other than it just hurts them, and that's what counts. And as you can see, completely and utterly wiped out. Not all battles are going to be like this, by the way. I promise you now, there will be some harder battles, but we're just blasting through the easy ones. I just want to get it over and done with. Because let's face it, we want to see more challenging stuff. There's a reason why I've got my own Pokemon, and you will find out more about that as we progress through the LP. So there's Biker, taken out, dead, done, that's it, sorted. And we've got the Boulder Badge, which if you know anything about Pokemon is one of the gym leader badges. Completely irrelevant in terms of tournaments and stuff like that. It's just allowing you to, you know, progress on to the next battle. So you can see there's 8 trainers to fight, and each one gets revealed as we go along after we've beaten them. This is Rocker. He's got predominantly electric Pokemon and grass Pokemon. Interesting. Well, I don't actually have a type of Pokemon that can really go well against electric. So I might use Charlie, because there's a way to check the Pokemon's moves. Yes, so before you make your selection, if you hold the R button down, as it says on the bottom part of the screen, you can check the stats and the moves just to remind you of what Pokemon has what move. I think we'll start with Charlie, because although Charlie is weak to electric Pokemon, because it's not only a flying type, but it's a flying type as well. Sorry, yeah, fire type but flying type, otherwise I'm flying twice there. She knows Earthquake. That is a good thing, because Earthquake is a ground move. We'll also pick Lisa and probably Executor, because at least Executor is resistant to electric and has some moves against our grass types here.
What kind of battle can we expect to see?
Probably a one-sided one, let's be honest. Hey Pikachu, or Picase, or Picase, whatever your name is. Right, now the reason why the game gives the enemy Pokemon's nicknames is not only to just give them a bit of personal edge, I guess, but it does actually change the colour sprite of the Pokemon. So I'll talk more about it in a later video, probably not this one, but basically depending on what nickname you give your Pokemon actually changes the colour tone a little bit of the Pokemon, giving them again a bit of a personal edge. You can see Charizard here is quite a dark shade of orange. And usually it's a lighter shade, but again we'll talk more about that later. Basically nicknames change the colour of the Pokemon slightly. This was before shinies were brought out. But during all of that explanation, we just wiped out Pikachu with Earthquake, because Charlie is fucking awesome. Because everybody loves a Charlie, everybody loves a Charizard as well. And now he's sent out an Oddish, because he knows, Rocker, that he is going to be KO'd by Charlie. So, yeah, let's just not beat around the bush. Grass is weak to fire. Very slowly here with the frame rate. It is a bit of a slow one, this game, but I just think it makes it more dramatic. Sorry, Oddish. Like I said, this isn't going to be every battle, I promise you, otherwise this would be boring. No, they will get harder, I promise you, but this cup is easy. It really is. So even with rental Pokemon, it's easy. There is also a sort of strategical reason as to why you want to use your own Pokemon from red, blue or yellow, but I'll talk more about that later. But now we're just going to Earthquake Voltace to Oblivion. What I love about this game is, again, back in the day, just the animations of the Pokemon. So, like, look at how Voltorb dies there. Okay, that's not probably the best example of it, but when Pokemon get hit, or when they make a move, or when they faint, or when they come out from the Pokeball, they have a lot of character, they have a lot of personality and animations, and back then that was really, really impressive, because again, on the Game Boy, you didn't see any of that. The Game Boy couldn't do that sort of thing, it just wasn't that technologically advanced to do so, which didn't really matter, because Pokemon games were still good, but to convert your Pokemon, or not convert, but to transfer your Pokemon over to the main game, Stadium that is, and see all these animations. God, it was impressive. At least for me, anyway. Again, your mileage may vary. Right, this is Juggler. He has a Drowsy, a Ghastly, a Hitmonchan, a Machoke, a Geodude, and a Clefairy, all with nicknames where he's just basically put a hyphen in between the first part of the name. Yeah, I think we'll pick Lisa. Why not? Lisa's a good all-rounder for this one, because we've got Fighting, Psychic, Ghost, Poison. We've got quite an eclectic bunch here. I think we'll pick Ed, because he is a Grass Psychic type. And yeah, I think we'll pick Trish. Why not?
The upcoming battles look promising. We're into round 3.
He's going out with Machoke. Okay, that is a bit worrying, because Machoke is a fighting type, and fighting type is good against Lisa's type, which is normal in Gen 1, not the fairy type. Fairy didn't exist. This is normal type. But again, we'll talk more about that later. Right, just going to check the recording's going okay, and then we shall continue onward. So, back in a moment. Okay, we're back. So, I'm not going to retreat, because you can retreat as well. That's the other things as well. We've just been pressing A to battle. If you press B for Pokemon, you can change Pokemon in the middle of battle. Just like you can in the Game Boy games, you can change Pokemon. And you can quit. If you press S for start, which is run, you can quit and you forfeit the battle. Which sometimes you might have to do to save time, but that's not necessarily means you've completely lost. But we'll talk more about that later. So you can see my Lisa here has got quite a good selection of moves here. I've been very, careful with my choice of moves. And we're going to pick Psychic again, because Psychic is good against fighting, so Machoke is not going to be expecting this one. Because Lisa can hold her own. I'm not sure if it'll knock it out. No, it survives! Oh dear. Okay.
will the other side do?
Get hit by rocks, and unfortunately Clefable temporarily died there, as you can see from the eyes and the mouth. Not good. Okay, I was expecting Machoke to use a fighting move there, but I'm guessing he instead used Metronome, which basically means he just uses a random move, if you didn't know. Let's change it up a bit. Let's use Body Slam. Let's just smash ourselves against him. That should finish him off. Boom. There we go. There you go. See, we got the enemy was able to fight off. That didn't make any sense. The enemy was able to get a move off and fight back. That's what I was trying to say. God, I'm so excited again. I love playing this game. To be able to record this is just, genius. Well, brilliant. Genius on my part for actually getting all this bloody setup. It is a complicated setup what I've got here. It's so stupid and using old technology, but it still works.
Pokemon are entirely different types.
Thank you. Yes, you might have gathered as well. I haven't actually commented on it yet, but there is an announcer. And that was what the voice meant in the options menu. You can turn him on or off. You want to keep him on. He's amazing in this.
Vigorous attack. Severe hit.
Okay, again, Drowsy survives the body slam. Oh, it's using hypnosis. That's not good.
Hypnosis.
Oh dear.
Oh, it fell asleep.
That is not good.
How will this snooze affect the battle?
Well, this is it, announcer. I could retreat and change Pokemons, or I could stay and hope that Clefable wakes up. You see, now that Clefable's asleep, if you didn't know, I can't actually do any attacks. So it'll let me select an attack, but I won't be able to pull it off until Clefable wakes up. So, is she going to wake up?
It's fast asleep.
Nope! And he's going for the Dream Eater.
What's next? Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
that
a
did a
hit.
fair bit of damage as well, and he absorbs some health too.
Fireworks are flying in this battle.
Are they? I'm not aware that they are, but I'll take your word for it, Mr. Announcer. Right, okay, I'm going to retreat. I'm going to use... I'll probably use Ed. At least he can resist psychic moves. Because Dream Eater is a psychic move, and yeah, it's quite powerful when you allow your Pokemon to be asleep.
Oh, it's executive.
Let's go for the Dream Eater. It won't work this time because Ed is awake, which is grand.
Oh, that's a miss.
Now, what's interesting about Pokemon Stadium is during some tournaments, or maybe even all of them within the game, you can't have two Pokemon asleep, or poisoned, or paralysed, or confused, I believe. Or at least no two Pokemon can be asleep. So that means that Drowsy here cannot use Hypnosis to put my Executor to sleep. He's not allowed because my Clefable's asleep. So for some reason you can't have two or more Pokemon asleep. Don't know why. Just a very obscure rule. Even war. What am I talking about? Metronome, and you randomly use Dream Eater. What are the chances of that? Absolutely failed there, which is good because I failed with Stun Spore. Which I was trying to paralyse him with. I'll try again. I'm only really toying with him, to be honest, just to make this a bit more entertaining.
What'll it do?
Oh, for God's sake! How can I miss twice in a row? Oh, he's used Swords Dance. Oh dear. Okay, alright, no more messing around then. Stun Spore isn't working. Well, Psychic won't do much because Drowsy is a Psychic type. Could use Mega Drain, see if that does some damage to him.
What's next?
There you go, see, I can suck HP too, you git. Ooh, use Rock Throw. That's not good.
What's this?
It's gonna hurt. Okay, not as bad as I thought. Oh, look at the stuttering frame rate. Again, that's the game, by the way. This is original hardware. This is original game. That is not my capture card failing to record the frame rate. That's how it was sometimes with this game. I could have emulated this, to be fair. I know a lot of LPs that have played this game, that I've watched on YouTube, have emulated it, probably because it's a lot cheaper and easier to do. The trouble is that N64 emulation isn't great. It's actually pretty good for Pokemon Stadium, from what I've seen, but there are some glitches from time to time that you see with the emulation, which is fine. It didn't bother me that much. But I just thought, well, it might be easier for me to just record it from the hardware because I've got it all set up ready to go. You know, I just didn't want to faff around with emulation. Right, well luckily now, Geodude is a rock ground type, which means Mega Drain should do some huge amounts of damage. There we go, he sucked its soul out. And he's so confused, what? My soul? Ah! And we win again. Isn't that just grand? Ah, I love this game. But like I said, this is quite boring, I know, because we're just trouncing through this. But it will get harder, like I said, I promise. Just stay with me, alright? And if not, skip ahead in the LP to more interesting stuff. You may have noticed as well, as we've been battling, we've been getting continues. So I'm assuming you know, or can use your brain, to put together that if we do lose a battle, or if we decide to quit a battle, if you've got continues, you can start the battle again. So in other words, you get a retry. If, however, you lose a battle and you have no continues, you're out. You have to start the whole cup again, the whole tournament. Not the, not start from, say, tier 3 back to tier 1. You just start that tier again. So once we move up the tiers and go to Great Ball and Ultra Ball, if we lose a battle during Ultra Ball Cup, for example, we only have to redo Ultra Ball. We don't have to redo the whole tier again. It's all the tiers again. It's just the tier you're on. At least it gives us that. That may happen. But in the meantime, we've got Beauty here, and she's got a Horsey, Staryu, Shelder, Kabuto, Cubone, and a Rhyhorn. I think Lapras is a good one here. Then I'll have Steve. I think Steve will be good as a counter to the water Pokemon. And we'll have Ed. I think Ed probably could have done all of them, really. But again, we'll get some different Pokemon out. Why not?
Crowd's excitement is building. This is round 4.
I don't know if the crowd is that excited because A, I can't see them, and B, the ones that are on my screen are very pixelated, two-dimensional, squirmy things that look like crowds' heads, but clearly they're not. Anyway, Kabutops. Okay, I'm going to try and confuse you. Confuse Ray. Yes. I'm going to be crafty. I don't know how a blinding white light does confuse someone, but it obviously does. And it works because it hit himself, which means we do not get hurt.
Neither one is
My plan worked perfectly. Right, we haven't actually got any moves that will really hurt Kabutops. Kabuto even. Kabutops is its evolution form. I think we'll use Surf. I think Surf will do some damage. I think.
Vigorous attack.
Like I said, if you haven't got a clue, like anything about Pokemon, I'll start talking about it a little bit now as we go along. So yeah, basically, you get monsters, you catch them with balls. Don't think too hard into it, just think of it as a capture device. And then you train them, and you train them by battling other Pokemon. They learn moves, those moves do damage, or other things. And the idea is that you just beat all of your opponent's Pokemon, and you win every fight. And they don't die. Although in Gen 1, which is the gen we're at the moment, where it all started, they kind of hinted that they do, if you play the Game Boy games at least anyway, but I won't say much more about it in case you don't know. I'm sure you do. But at least in this game, they don't. They just faint. So they don't die, they just get knocked out, and then you bring them back, and you rest them. So there's no deaths, but it is still monsters fighting monsters. You could argue that this is animal or monster cruelty. Yeah, but then Pokemon's been going now for, Christ, how long now? Like over 20 years? And no one's really batted an eyelid about it, or if they have, not enough to make it all stop. So yeah, and it's not real, this is fake, but still. It is what it is. But basically every Pokemon has a type. So the types in Gen 1... Oh, bugger, I missed. That's annoying.
What's that?
Oh, that is bad. I might have to retreat, Trish. Basically what Horsey's doing, or Horsey in this case is doing, is she's lowering my accuracy, which means that whenever I try and attack, the chance of it actually hitting Horsey is going down every time it uses Smokescreen. That's kind of annoying. I'm going to try again with Psychic, and see if I can hit. Oh, now
Oh, there's going to be a change.
she's retreating! Okay, fine. I guess maybe to set herself up with the Shelder for some reason. Okay. Not sure why you've done that, but I'm sure you have a plan. Yay! Got a hit on it. Right, well if you're going to retreat Pokemon, then I think I'll do the same. I'm going to retreat to Steve. Yeah. You'll see some different action from me now.
Here's a Pokemon change.
But yeah, every Pokemon has a different type. So in Gen 1 there is...
Oh, it's electric!
Hey Steve! I love Steve. There are different types. There's
What now?
water, fire, grass, electric, ice, fire, psychic, fighting, normal, dragon, flying.
The outcome.
I think that's all of them in Gen 1. There may be one I'm missing, in which case I've... Oh, rock and ground. How could I forget those? And those types... again, think of it like rock, paper, scissors. Each type has a strength and a weakness. I'll talk more about it in a second. I'm just going to check my recording's going okay. And then we'll continue onwards. Yeah, they are, because I've got to do the recording. Back in a sec. Ah, which button do I press? Oh yeah, that one.
What's the matter, trainer?
I'm just getting the recordings. Whatever. Right, anyway, so each type has an advantage and a weakness. So in this case for Steve is an electric type, so he knows electric moves, and electric is strong against water. It makes sense, trust me. So therefore, I use Thunderbolt, which is an electric move against Shelder, which is a water Pokemon, and it was super effective. Which means that the move does twice as much damage as it would have done if it was against a Pokemon where it wasn't super effective. Of course, most types are just, you know, there's no advantage or disadvantage, they just attack one another and that's that. But yeah, you basically want to have, to win battles, you basically want a type of Pokemon that's advantageous towards your opponent so you can beat them quicker and, you know, make sure that you can beat all their Pokemon. Likewise, you know, electric Pokemon, for example, are weak to ground Pokemon. So if the opponent pulls out a ground Pokemon, or even just has a Pokemon that knows a ground move, like Charlie did earlier with Earthquake, then it could be super effective against me, and I could get hurt quite badly. So it's all about type advantaging and matching them up. Again, a bit like rock, paper, scissors. And they know a plethora of moves, and there are lots of moves that do lots of different damage, as well as different effects. We'll talk more about that in a second. So we've beaten Beauty and got the Rainbow Badge. It's very nice. And we've got 4 continues, by the way, so we're doing pretty well. And we're going to move on. And we've got Medium, who has medium Pokemon, I guess. I don't know. Right, let's just make a selection of who we got. So she's got a Ghastly, which is a Ghost Poison type. I forgot Ghost type. How could I forget? Vulpix, Fire type. Zubat's a Poison Flying. Goldine's Water. Tentacool is a Water Poison. And Butterfree's a Bug type. Might be a Flying type as well, but Bug type. I've got Bug as well. Blimey, there are a lot of types actually in general. Okay, I think we'll start with Steve, and then we'll have Charlie, and go with Lisa. Again, she's an all-rounder. But yeah, essentially, if you've got a type that's advantage against your opponent's type, you can do a lot more damage. If they've got a type against you, they can do a lot more damage if their type's advantage towards you. Most types, though, have no advantage at all or disadvantage, so they just do whatever the move's damage would have been to the other Pokemon. So, you know, you can do that. But there's also stasis effects as well. So I'm going to show off one now. This is what I was trying to do earlier with Ed, but we're going to use Steve's Thunder Wave. And Thunder Wave has now paralysed the enemy's Zoo-Bat.
It's paralyzed on the spot.
And as you can see there, it's paralysed on the spot. So paralysis, if you paralyse your opponent or if you get paralysed, sometimes you won't be able to make a move. So paralyze is quite a nasty stasis effect. It also means that you get to go first. So if the opponent's paralysed, chances are your Pokemon will always go first, which again can make a big difference when it comes to fighting. Because you'll notice that so far all of my Pokemon have gone first when attacking, although one Pokemon with Rocker, I think, went first instead for one turn. So there is a reason for that. It isn't like, oh, okay, human player gets to go first, then computer. It's not like a set thing. There is rules governing who gets to go first and who gets to attack first. And that can be critically important when it comes to strategy planning and all that sort of stuff when you're trying to beat the opponent. So you've got paralysis, you've got poison, which slowly damages your Pokemon over time. You've got sleep, which we've seen with Lisa, which basically means that for up to 3 turns in this game, you will not be able to move because you're asleep. And you've got confusion, which means every now and again your opponent will not hit your opponent, but hit itself. It's all governed with random number generators and things like that when it comes to the effects of those things. So anything else? Oh, there's burn as well, which is a bit like poison, but it makes some of your attacks weaker in damage. So again, it has its thing. So there's stasis effects, as we call them. Well, they are called, that you can inflict on your opponent too. So that's to bear in mind. So there's a lot of things going on, but again, all of you should know this. I'm just telling people who don't know it. Oh god, Butterfree survived that? Uh-oh. Oh no, my Steve's confused. mean, he still looks cheeky and he's like, yeah, I'm still ready to go, but he could hit himself. Alright, I'll take a chance. We'll see if we can beat the Butterfree this time. I can't believe he survived a Thunderbolt.
It's a swift attack.
Yeah, there we go. Managed to take him out anyway. So luckily, on that turn, we didn't hit ourselves. So confusion is like 50-50, I think, roughly, as to whether you hit yourself or not. That time we didn't. So yeah, you got to sort of think about these stasis effects, because they can change the flow of battle if needs be. So it's something we've got to bear in mind as we go along. What else governs your Pokemon success, apart from types and moves, damage and effects, is the stats. Every Pokemon has got stats, a bit like a role-playing game, essentially. They've got health, they've got attack, they've got defense, they've got speed and special. In Gen 2 upwards, they split the special stat up into special attack and special defense, but in Gen 1 it's just special, which actually had massive implications to how this game worked and how broken it was. But anyway, we'll get to that later. So, we're going against the Tamer. He's got a Tatarat, a Lithgrowl, a Bone Q, a Shrewsand, a Mandajar, and a Lisquirt. Ooh, is that Lisquirt? Which Pokemon have we not seen in action yet? I think we have seen all of them now, haven't we? At least the ones for me. We'll bring out Charlie again, because we've only seen her once, and Woolums, and I think Steve. Steve should be alright. Like I said, this cup is easy, but they will get harder. We'll have to think a bit more carefully. So yeah, so every Pokemon's got stats, and every Pokemon has stats that it's stronger in and stats that it's weaker in. So there's still quite, you know, every Pokemon has its strengths and weakness, not just in terms of types and moves, but also how much health it's got, how much attack stat it's got, defense stat, special, speed, etc. And that's one of the main reasons why in this game, at least later on, you want to use your own Pokemon from the Game Boy game. Because in the Game Boy game, you can control how much more stats your Pokemon have, other than just leveling them up. But we'll talk more about that later. I don't want to go into too much detail. Why have you dug? I don't know why you've done that. Okay, fine. Whatever. We'll just wait. Well, you'll see why this is pointless. We're going to use Swords Dance now, which we saw earlier, which boosts our attack. It's very handy. And then Squirtle's going to use Dig, which is a ground move.
What's this? Oops, that's a miss.
And it didn't hit us. That's because Charizard, or Charlie, is a fire flying type. Flying types in Gen 1 are immune to ground moves. So why it used Dig, I've no idea. Whatever's. We'll just body slam it. Why not? Dunk. And that's the Squirtle gone. Why didn't you use a water move? Squirtle's a water type and water's good against fire. Why didn't you use a water move? Why didn't you use Dig? I mean, ground is good against fire. Ground is strong against fire types. But you will see occasionally the AI, not just because, you know, you may think, oh, well, you've said this cup's easy, so therefore it's going to be a walk in the park. And it is, and the AI do dumb things. But they do dumb things even in the harder cups later on. But it doesn't happen that often. It's just one of those times where you just think, huh? Well, that's the AI for you. I mean, I wouldn't underestimate them. The AI can be pretty nasty. So again, you know, just because they did something dumb there doesn't mean that they'll always do that. And it's not because this is the easiest cup.
Oh, it's Rattata.
This is Rattata. Okie dokie, or Tatarat.
The remaining
so in terms of like going back to typing and all that, again, if you don't know Pokemon, because Tatarat is a normal type, none of my moves are super effective against it. So I can use any move I want, it will just do the normal damage that move would have made. So it won't do double damage or what have you. Swords Dance, however, increased my attack stats. So what that means is if I use an attack type move, which you may think, well, Body Slam, Earthquake, Flamethrower, they all use damage, that's surely an attack move, right? Not quite. We'll use Flamethrower. Basically, the attack stat governs moves that are physical moves. And in this game, physical moves are ground, poison, normal, fighting, bug, flying, ground rock, ghost, normal. Those moves that are those types, they are physical moves, so the attack stat determines how strong they are. But fire is a special move. So fire, psychic, electric, ice, water, grass, I think that's it. Dragon, or was dragon, I don't know about dragon actually. We'll talk about dragon later, because dragon's a bit of a misnomer in this. They're special types. So that means any move that are those types of things, like Psychic, Water, Fire, for example, they're governed by the special stats. So if the special stat is good, then the move is strong. If the attack stat is good, it doesn't affect the damage of a special move. So there's a lot more intricate things in Pokemon. But again, most of you should know this. I'm only saying all this because I'm just trying to make this video a little bit more interesting. We are at the semi-finals now. We are against Psychic, so she's the second from last trainer. And my dogs are barking. Well, I've got to check the recording's going okay anyway. So I'm going to go check the recording's okay, see while the dog's barking, and then we shall continue on with choosing our Pokemon and fighting against Psychic. So I shall be back in a moment. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. Yep, no, everything is fine on my end. So without further ado, we've got Abra, which is Psychic, Slowpoke, or Slowpenza is Psychic Water, Egutenza is a Grass Psychic, Dodenza or Dodenza is a Flying type, Farfenza is a Flying type, and Geotenza is a Flying type. Okay, I'm going to stick with Steve, Charlie, and Lisa again. I think that might be a good selection.
This is it, the semi-finals! No one wants to lose, having come this far.
They do not want to lose, announcer. You're quite correct. Right, so she's gone with Dodenza, which is a flying type. So I've got a feeling she'll retreat. So I'm going to use Thunder Wave. No, she didn't. Okay, that's fine. Either way, I'll paralyze her. So still mess her up a bit. Yes. It used Toxic. I know Toxic.
Oh, Toxic! The poison will slowly sap the strength.
Thank you, announcer. See, even the announcer can keep you up to date with how things are going as well, which is nice of him. Well, no more messing about. Let's use Thunderbolt. Let's just get it even done with. Like electric Pokemon are going against flying types. You can probably connect the dots. Nice.
It's a one-hit wonder.
I know. Like I said, this won't always be the case, so I'm enjoying these while they last, because that won't happen as often.
Oh, it's Execute.
Right, okay, so Execute is a Grass Psychic type, like I said, and they are resistant to Electric type. I'm going to Thunder Wave. I'm going to paralyze it with Thunder Wave, and then I'll retreat. Well, we'll take some poison damage, but oh well.
What's this?
So we're starting to strategize a bit now. Sometimes we might have to take a hit and do some damage to us. Let's go with Leech Seed. Yeah, Leech Seed. Alright, well that's good that we are going to retreat, because that gives it health by sapping energy from us every turn. And being poisoned as well means that every turn we're going to take quite a considerable amount of damage. Unless we retreat, which is what we're going to do, because we're cowards.
They go into battle poses. Here's a Pokemon tree.
So yeah, so Pokemon stats-wise, yeah, we've got attack, defense, speed and special, and HP. So HP obviously governs how much health they have, that makes sense. Attack governs physical moves and how much damage they do. Defense helps reduce any damage you take from physical moves. So the higher your defense stat, the more or less effective physical moves are on you. And Special does both in this game. So in Gen 1, Special does both the governing of special attack damage, but also special attack damage reduction. So it's both the special attack and special defense combined. In Gen 2 onwards, they split them up into special attack and special defense, but in Gen 1 they kept it as special. And again, it's easily abusable in this game, as you will see later on. And finally, the speed. In speed, all that does is determine who goes first. So if your Pokemon has a faster speed stat than your opponent's speed stat, then you go first. If they have a faster speed stat than you, they go first. And again, can make or break whether you win or lose in some cases. You've got to factor that in. Each Pokemon has a various speed stats, so some are faster than others. And not necessarily because of size, like, oh, well, larger, fatter Pokemon or bigger Pokemon are going to be slower. There is some logic to that, but sometimes there isn't either. So, you know, you just have to know these things. I just realised Slowpoke was a water type and I just took a Surf. Damn it! So there you see we had a super effective move against us, so that Surf attack did twice as much damage as it would have done against us if we were not super effective against it. She's bad. Right, okay, I'm going to Body Slam again and hope something happens when I do. Ideally take it out, but...
What'll it do?
No.
That's a good hit!
Possibly, but it's still alive.
Right, that's sir.
Ow.
That's the weak spot.
Oh, Charlie, you're going to get killed. Oh, do I retreat or do I try and take it out? You see, these are the sort of decisions you're going to have to make at some points later on. Well, I'm going to have to make, I should say. But unless you play the game yourself, these are decisions you're going to make. So I could retreat, but if I retreat, I lose a turn. And if Slowpoke's going to use Surf, which I imagine it will, or Slowpenzer in this case, it's going to hit my Pokemon. It's going to get a free hit on it. But then I could be in a better position to hurt it. I'm going to do it. I shall retreat and bring out Lisa. Yes, Lisa will get hit with Surf, but she can do more damage to Slowpoke. I can save Charlie for later.
What's this?
It's the same move he's used the last 3 times. Oh. There you go, didn't do much damage. Because again, water is just standard against normal types. So that's good. Right, since it is a part water type, as well as a psychic type, I'm going to use Thunderbolt. Because that does super effective damage. Yeah, didn't expect my Lisa to know that, did you? So you may have seen from my move list as well that a Pokemon with a certain type doesn't just learn that type of move, it can learn other types of moves as well. Gives it some versatility and means that you can sometimes preempt weaknesses. So if you've got a Pokemon that's weak to a certain type, you could teach it a move, or it could learn a move, or you can give it a move that can fight against that type a bit better. So in other words, it's like saying my Pokemon is weak against your Pokemon in terms of type, but it knows a move that's super effective against your type, so it can stand up to itself, or stand up for itself even. And therefore, you think, well, do I switch, or do I actually just try and see if I can, you know, handle the other Pokemon, even though it's stronger against me? Maybe I can handle it with a move that it's weak against. So again, there's a lot of strategy. But again, you know Pokemon, you should know all this. So this is the Old Man. He is the finalist of the Poké Cup, and will be for all 4 tiers. So he's got a Dranny, a Cell, a Ditto, Magmite, Bedrill, and a Pogon. I love some of these names. So Dranny there is one of 3 dragon types. There's only 3 dragon type Pokemon in the game at this point. So I think Trish would be good, because Trish is a water ice type, I believe, and it does know an ice move, so that will take care of that. I might use Woolums, because although Woolums is only good against Bedrill, he's a strong Pokemon anyway, should be able to take the others. I think we'll go with Ed. That's resistant to some of those types there as well.
This is it.
So this is the final of the Poké Cup Pokeball.
Glory of the championship.
Starting with his Dranny, which is fine by me because we preempted that. So notice as well the music changes as you progress through the tournament. So it starts off with one music, then another one, and then the finals have their own music, which is pretty cool. So it gives it a bit of dramatism, which I like. It makes it more dramatic. I don't know why I'm making up words to say things that I could just say with words that are already invented, but you know what I mean. So we're going to use Ice Beam. Dragon is weak against ice, so that should take care of Dranny. Nice.
That was quick. Down already.
That's a very bizarre way of dying there, Dranny. I feel a little bit guilty actually doing that now.
This is a wild one from the word go.
Yeah, well, that's because I've got a very strong Pokemon at this point. This is a bit of a cakewalk, admittedly.
Magnemite.
Good old Magnemite, just an electric type in this game, which is strong against my water type, but I think I should, because I'm pretty strong, I think I could probably withstand some of its attacks. Basically because my attack, defense, speed, special stats, and health stats are way higher than his anyway. Even though he's stronger against me, I can hold my own. I don't have any moves that are super effective against electric, but Psychic will do some good damage.
Savage attack.
Could have used Surf actually, and if you get a critical hit, by the way, which you've seen a few times, then I think it does 1.5, maybe 2 times damage as well. I'm not sure on that one. I think it is 2 times damage as well, but I could be wrong. Yeah, he's paralysed me, has he? Oh, that's not so good. Right, I think Trish, though, can survive an electric move, if that's what he's going to use, so we'll keep her out for the moment. Oh, he's using Thunderbolts. That's not good.
What's this?
Ooh, that did a lot of damage, actually. More than I thought. And we're paralysed! No!
It's paralyzed on the
You can usually tell if you're paralysed or confused or poisoned. There are cues that your Pokemon will do to indicate that before the announcer catches up to it. I don't want Trish to get knocked out. Sorry, Trish. I'm going to have to retreat you. I think Ed will make a good replacement. So retreats, Trish.
Here's a Pokemon change.
I mean, you don't have... I mean, I could have just let Trish faint, so I don't get a one-hit knock here, but at this stage in the tournament, it doesn't really matter, and I'd like to try and keep my Pokemon alive because I care for them, despite the fact that I'm throwing them out to be beaten up. You see, grass is resistant to electric. Again, don't ask me why, it just is. Right, Psychic! Psychic's such a strong move in this game. You'll see a lot of this move being used throughout this LP. It will be a bit dull. But they'll start using it against me, so... like I said, I'll talk more about the intricacies and all the exploits that Pokemon Stadium and Gen 1 has, but in later videos.
There's a difference in the number of reserve Pokemon.
Yes, I still have 3. He has 1 left. Which is it? It is a Pogon!
Oh, it's Porygon!
Pogon. Normal type, but it's quite versatile. It can learn quite a few moves for different types, so never underestimate Pogon. I should still be able to take it on though.
Vigorous attack. Harsh blow.
I didn't kill it, but it did a lot of damage, so I should be alright. It knows Psychic too! Alright, we'll out-Psychic one another. Right, that's not good. Special stat means now that my special moves, which are Mega Drain and Psychic in this case, they will do less damage. Because my special stat has fallen. That's why Psychic is going to be used a lot in this LP, because Psychic was a very strong move, but it can lower special, which makes it even stronger. But it didn't weaken it enough to not survive a second Psychic. So we beat Pogon! And God, that is a horrendous way to die. I'm sorry, Pogon. But we win! We win! LP over. Hey! Okay, not really, but you know what I mean. There you go, old man. You can do better than that. Take on the likes of Neo. Bing! And we got our last badge. All of them have names, so all related to the Pokemon games in terms of the gym leaders. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. Look at it yourself. Hooray! We got our first cup already! You may be thinking that this won't be a long LP. Oh no, it'll be a long one, trust me. Just because that was quick and easy does not mean it will stay that way. Oh, the momentum of this game changes quite quickly. So there you go. So that was a taster of what's to come for Pokemon Stadium. Again, most of you have probably played this game, know it all anyway. I'm just sort of assuming those of you who are watching don't know. I'm just trying to be amateur dramatic, you know me. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed that sort of introductory taste of the game. Like I said, it will get better. It will get more in depth. There's going to be a lot more swearing and cursing and strategical thinking and what have you. And there will be things that I'll have to do a lot of things off screen to get ourselves prepared for later tournaments in the game. So like I said, it isn't going to be a cakewalk. I just wanted to get that cup over and done with, because for me that's the easiest one. The next cup we'll do is we'll do the same tournament, but we'll do Great Ball, so that'll be a little bit harder. And we'll take it from there. So can I say thank you very much for watching if you have done. Again, I hope you enjoyed the introductory thing there, and I'll talk a lot more about the game in more detail as we progress, because there's lots of things still to talk about and see and do, but that is for later. So yes, next time we'll go back to the Poke Cup and we'll do the Great Ball tier. So until next time, take it easy, have a good one. I hope you're well, I hope you're staying safe in this pandemic, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Until then, bye for now. Oh, which button is it again? I keep pressing the wrong button, damn it. Okay, here we go. Bye for now. Yay, professional.